Hey Jennifer, hello to you. And Jennifer's also in Canada, so we're with the Canadians this afternoon. Go Canada, go Canucks. Are monkey orange the same as monkey fruit? I don't know. But Jennifer's saying she's got a monkey fruit candle holder from South Africa. But I tell you what, Jennifer, if you can describe it to me, or send me a picture even. Obviously I can't get a picture on drive, but I can look at it after drive. The picture is probably better than a description. Then I can tell you what it is, because I don't know what they call a monkey fruit. And it could very well be a monkey orange. If it's round like this monkey orange and it's sort of cut in half and it's got, maybe. All of the strychnos, all of the monkey oranges. Monkey fruit, I'm not sure of anything that is specifically called a monkey fruit. Might be somebody calling it monkey fruit. It might be something entirely different. Or as Monty Python would say, something completely different. Monkey fruit that's not a monkey fruit. A monkey fruit that is a monkey orange, or a monkey fruit that isn't a monkey orange. But I could look in my book quickly while we're looking at giraffe. And I'm also listening for elephants, by the way. See what they've got on the monkeys. Because you get monkey pod, you get two different species of things that are called monkey pods, so there could be a number of things called monkey fruit. And this brings me back to the same thing that I always say, scientific names are so important. Doesn't matter what it is called, its common name, doesn't matter what it's called colloquially. The scientific name or the botanical name is its name, and that's what you've got to go by. Which is not always evident when you're buying curios from a curio shop, and they just label something as a monkey fruit. And I'm going to tell you, oh, that's Rumex Sagittarius. Yes, Aaron, Yebo. Sylvania, Soteria, Cedar, Strychnos. See what they want for English name, monkeys. Oh, Roma. Shalom. Hello, Roma. Nice to hear from you. Monkey thorn, monkey stain, monkey orange, nothing in here called a monkey fruit. Green monkey orange. Let's see what she says about it. Because Anita Fabian, who had made this book, Loganiaceae, the elder family, by the way, they belong to the wild elder family. 30 genera, 400 species, tropics and subtropics of the Old and the New World. In Southern Africa, 5 genera and about 22 species, of which the Naxias, the Gomphostigmas, the Buddleias are all the false olives. They're all part of it. Strychnos actually is an ancient Greek name given to various poisonous plants. So no, this book doesn't really give me any info. Maybe my tree book. But I think, Jennifer, the best thing to do would be maybe to send me a picture of your candle holders that are called monkey fruit. I don't really know. I've never really heard of anything called a monkey fruit. But I'm looking at my tree book now. That was just my flower book. My tree book, yes. And also thanks for the email, whoever it was, or the message through Facebook, to please post something on my page, the list of books that I'm using. I will try and do that. I shall do. Monkey pod, monkey thorn. But monkey thorn is an acacia, and the monkey pod, well, I'm assuming that they're referring to the Senna monkey pod, the Senna sanguiana, when they call it a monkey pod in the tree book, rather than the creeper that you find in East Africa, because you don't get that creeper here in South Africa. Page 426. And yes, Senna, the monkey pod, which we even have here. They're not flowering. No monkey fruit, Jennifer, sorry. I don't know monkey fruit. That's why, please send me a picture. Okay, giraffe, you're not telling me anything, are you? The wind's picking up. Saturday afternoon here in South Africa. I hope you're you are joining us. I hope you're going to enjoy what we have to offer. Starting off with two giraffe bulls that have been fairly relaxed until I decided to get a bit closer. He's now moving away. Looking down into the riverbed. I wonder why. I can get his head. No. Find the gap, maybe. No. Just too many trees in the way. No. Okay. Alright, we'll leave these giraffe boys. Although it'll be nice to say. It's beautiful light now. Late afternoon light. Not as bright as it was when we started. Don't even need my shade. Diving into the sun. A lot easier on the eye. So, New Zealand and Canada are online this afternoon. Who's in the UK? Dave, are you there? Heather and Brian? Moira, Becky? Far too many people in the US to even attempt to comment on particular names. Hey, Bo. Oh. Ellen. In. Hi, Ellen. My apologies to you. Because another question that Ellen asked was, how do the animals know that the monkey orange seeds they're toxic and not to eat them? That is a very, very good question, Ellen, because either it's instinctive or they are taught by their mothers. But then there has to be something there that stops them from doing it as a child to inadvertently eat them. And we could probably extend that question into a lot of many different things, because there are a lot of, let's call them poisonous fruits out there. And very good question. How indeed do things know not to eat them? Although every now and then something does eat something toxic by accident. I remember when I was in California, there was a problem. I think, what was it? Was it the California star thistle or something? Horses were eating it. And when I come to think of it, the only time that I've actually heard of animals eating something that they shouldn't, they're domestic animals. Goats that get themselves into something that they shouldn't. Horses that get them into. But for some reason, I think nature, the animal, the species itself, wouldn't survive if that mechanism wasn't there to prevent them from eating something that they shouldn't eat. And it comes back to the same thing that I've always been saying from way, way back, is that maybe, just maybe, that is why mammals are the way they are. Why nature has made us mammals. Why it is important for females to have memories, to have, to lactate, to provide milk for their kids, so that perhaps in the very process of feeding and nurturing their children, they're transferring all sorts of information of the very food that they're eating, because the very food that they're eating could be flavoring their milk, so that when the child starts weaning itself, it recognizes that taste in whatever it is eating as, yes, this is what my mother ate, because it's not a conscious thing. The brain triggers it. That is okay to eat, because there were those alkaloids or those proteins or those whatever it is, that was what was in the milk, and that's what then tells them they can eat it or not. But it is a good question. I have to be honest, I don't know the answer to that. I'm gonna stop and listen for a bit. Maybe it's just something that is passed down over generations, that you can eat that part but not that part. One of the wonders of nature. If there was a chance that a baby would eat a seed and get sick or die, then nature wouldn't have created it. Stop that. Too much wind. Hear anything? So it would be very interesting to know whether there is actually, because I only go by what I've been taught in my learning path, whether there really is strychnine in the strychnine seeds, or that they might just be poisonous, and it might just be that they were called that because it comes from a Greek word which virtually means poisonous or poisonous. In fact, it would be also interesting to learn if there's anybody who's Greek out there to give me a direct translation of the name strychnos, or any name that has the same, or any word that has the same etymology for that matter. Yes, Aaron. This is one thing that I was thinking I could show you, or I can't, because I don't know, some of you will get upset, and actually it's after the fact, so you can't get upset. It's one of those things. I found a nightjar. It's been killed, but unfortunately it's been killed by a vehicle that must have come through here during the night last night, because the only time a nightjar would be vulnerable will be when a vehicle is driving with lights on. As you might know, maybe in the States you get the frog mouths and you get the whippoorwills, and in Europe you get the nightjars as well. They come out and they sit on the roads at night, and if you're driving, you don't necessarily have to be driving fast, but the mere fact that you have lights on, whether it's a nightjar or an owl, the fact is that you're blinding the animal, and it can't fly because it can't see what is beyond that light, and it doesn't want to fly into a tree, so it just sort of flies into the beam of light. So this is a nightjar, sadly, poor child. It has been completely crushed. I can go through the injuries just feeling it. Broken neck, crushed skull, broken leg, broken wing. But we so seldom get a chance to actually look at something that I've decided that I am going to show to you, because I have to show you the beauty of something that we hear about often. We talk about them. We hear them in the evenings. They are probably one of the most incredible wonders of nature when we look at it in its entirety. But then, whatever I speak about when it comes to nature can be exactly that. Everything in nature is one of the most incredible inventions of nature itself. What I can show you is that we can identify it based on this wing pattern, based on the number of spots in the wing and the barring. I mean, this is such a beautiful bird, it's unbelievable. We can identify it based on not only the outer tail. This is an outer tail retrices over here with the white on it, but by the color of the feather on the outer edge versus the color of the feather on the inner edge, it can help with identifying the species. The fact that it has these very mottled feathers in the center of its tail, and as the outer tail broadens out, it has these two feathers on the outer edge that have these white patches on them. This poor child didn't even stand a chance. This vehicle must... And you know what? The other thing is that you can't really blame whoever it was, because this is not a place where you can drive fast. This must have been driving very, very slowly, but just not paying attention. Perhaps the tracker with the spotlight, not looking at the road, perhaps the guide. Who knows? This can only be a game drive vehicle, and sadly this is the result of it. As far as the facial features are concerned, or rather the coloring of the face, it's very puffed up, so it's very hard to see. My guess is, based on this beautiful coloring on the back of the neck, that it's a fiery neck nightjar, but I'm about to pull out my book and we're about to have a look and try and identify it a little bit better. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm going to try and show you something on the skull now, what is left of the left side of it. The right side is, unfortunately, the right side of the skull is what was driven over, but at least this left side of the skull is still pretty intact. But very, very interesting are a series... I don't know if you can see that against my finger, the color. They look like eyelashes. Can you see that? I don't know. It might be just so fine that you can't see it on camera. But a series of incredible, very, very hard whiskers on the side of the face. And they're probably almost as thick as a cat's whisker at the base, and they thin out very, very quickly, and it's right at the side of the mouth. Now this is a bird that has an exceptionally large gape to the beak. It has a gape that can swallow probably an entire locust, although they do specialize in certain insects that fly around at certain times of the night. But if I can show you the gape of the mouth, I can almost fit my entire index finger in the gape of its mouth. Not many birds have that, but that is because this is a bird that hunts its prey on the wing at night. It sits down low on the ground, on an open patch of ground, so that it has a much wider space of sky above it to be able to hunt those insects that are flying against the starlight and the moonlight up above. And most insects that fly have membranous wings, and it's those membranous wings that actually look like fairy wings to anything down below them, and it makes it very easy for these creatures to hunt them. But in the act of actually flying up and trying to catch the insect, it's got these whiskers on the side of its face that help it to actually funnel that insect in flight into its mouth. They don't catch with their feet like some of the falcons and kestrels. But really, it's just so sad. This poor child didn't stand a chance. Such an incredibly beautiful bird. Shedding feathers. And this begs the question: what was it? How is it possible that nature creates something so intricate and so beautiful with earthy colors, and just for a bird that flies at night, apart from the fact that it has to remain concealed during the day, and that's exactly what it does. I mean, if I had to put it amongst this leaf litter right now, as it is now, you probably wouldn't even be able to see it. It would become virtually invisible to the camera. But just every single feather is different. Every single feather has a minute variation on it that creates this entire plumage of perfect camouflage. So that is Caprimulgus. I'm going to have a look now and see if I can see in the books which and I'm also going to hold on to it. It hasn't started rotting yet. I'm going to hold on to it because I want to look at it further as well. Maybe take some photographs. But really sad. The other thing that is illegal that some guys do, and if I ever catch a guy doing it, I'll cut his arms off, is because they get mesmerized by the light, some of the guys actually jump out and they grab them and they, oh, big macho, I caught a nightjar at night, and then they show their guests. And although it's legal in guiding circles, it does still happen. And what guides don't know is that it actually damages the feathers and it makes them not as aerodynamic as they could or should be. Anyway, so let me just have a look quickly. The Caprimulgiforms. Here are the wing patterns and the tail of this might have been the freckled nightjar. Actually, no, not Europe. Can't be European. Because European fiery neck. Yeah, right. So now I've got to bring it up again. Are you able to see the book? Yeah. Okay. Unfortunately, with nightjars, it's very foolish to try and identify a nightjar merely with it sitting down or flying. And the only way you can really identify a live nightjar is when it is calling. Because it is impossible to see these particular features in a nightjar when it is flying. And the only way to do it is to have a bird in the hand and be a biologist and just be real about it. So, where are we? We've got a lot of pale. There's no pale in the rufous tick. There's a lot of pale in the fiery neck. We've got half white outer tail rectrices. We're looking definitely at the male of the species. If I look at the underwing, there's the underwing on this side. There's the underwing compared to this one. Yeah. And then we've got to look at the tail. I'm sorry, I know this might be undignified for the poor child, but there are only two, and there's really not that much white at the bottom as there is in the fiery neck. The fiery neck nightjar has been calling quite a lot lately, by the way. So I'm guessing that actually not a male. It might actually be a female. No, it's not. There's no white on the outer edge. And that white goes higher. Rufous cheek, maybe. You see, even with the bird in my hand, I'm finding it difficult. But they're starting to look more like the female of the rufous. Could it even be rufous T? Yeah, sort of orange buff, not rufous collar. And the other thing is actually the whole 6 square tailed Mozambique. Some square tailed. No, definitely not a square tailed. So we're looking at fiery neck, which has got the rufous collar. Stop it, wind, I'm looking at my book. It's hard to see because the feathers are so puffed up. Yeah, no, I'm still going with fiery neck, definitely fiery neck. That rufous collar. But probably the female. Sorry, Dave. This is Dave's book, by the way. Not Dave on the back, Dave in England. Benoni Dave. So let's see now. That's with the female's wing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bands. 3, 4, 5 bands. Not seeing too much barring on the forewing, but probably fiery neck, quittiles. Anyway, enough time spent on this sad soul. In any case, that's just the body. It's the dead body, so it's like picking up a dead stick, which is just a dead piece of a tree, which was once living and is now dead. There's no difference to it. What I will do is for the sake of most of you, I'll put on a little bit of sanitizer because I've been touching a dead creature. And I try not to eat with my hands or put my fingers in my mouth or suck my thumb in the next hour or so. His horns are so far from his head, if only we can just get to see him. A whole bunch of big old dugger boys here. Gee, here's a good shot. That's magnificent. Both cameras even. Hey old man. Okay, great. That's also nice, even with all the flies, looking at those boys through there. Now that he's gone, he's a huge bull, this one on the right, but those guys on the left. Also big, but just put the light behind them and the flies flying around their faces. Got to be a nice shot. I might need to go forward a little bit. Do you think? Yeah. Oh, it's too late. Or back even. I just thought that's just such a beautiful shot with it. But now there's too much sunlight. Maybe we can get that effect with this big bull. So what made it nice is we had the shade from the trees above us. The other alternative is just to head down Cheshire north and have a look some more. Thanks for the email, Vivian. Sorry, Vivian, saying that most people heard what I was talking about. I'm sorry if your volume was too low. That was on your side, but sounds like our volume was good enough, I guess. But it does always worry me sometimes. Not the same effect as having the sun behind them. Now we're in the wrong place. I can't see either one of the heads. Unless you're looking.
These camera shots.
Yeah, and he's just, there we go. Oh. Saturday. So we got clubbing tonight.
I think so, yeah.
Put on our sequin suits and German shoes. No, how about a white tux and German and my evening hat. We'll go clubbing. Oh, and the moon's getting bigger. Oh, Mildred. Oh, you. Not showing herself today. Our crocodile. No hippos yet today. We haven't been here for a couple of days actually. Come to think of it. We've got a hornbill digging through old buffalo dung looking for termites and other little grubs. Okay. I think one of the reasons why I was so reluctant to actually do that night thing was that I was thinking somebody's going to tune in a little bit too late and they're not going to understand this whole story. And I'm going to be holding a dead night and somebody's going to put two and two together and think that I did it. No, I don't want to sound like Bill Clinton. I did not. Okay, for the record, it is physically impossible to run over a nightjar during the day because they are very sensitive to movement and vehicles and things. And they wouldn't even be lying in the road during the day. They're hiding under thick bushes in ground nests and ground roosting sites where you never see them. Hardly ever. I have to admit, there are times when I bumped into nightjars on foot where I've disturbed them under bushes. But we came across this nightjar. It was dead already. It's been dead since last night sometime. Probably since the game drive were out last night at night. And I was talking and something was called in on the radio. Anyway, I think we can go there. Okay, let's move. So no, we came across that nightjar. It was dead already, folks. It's been dead for some time, since last night. Excuse me, Hornbill. When you drive slowly, you can't drive over birds when you drive the speed that we do. Bye-bye, Hornbill. Go back to your picking through dung now. There, let's get through this question, and then I'll get through that no signal or bad signal area. What? Okay, so we've tracked down to about a second delay. Yes, please, let's have a question about elephants. I'm always keen on elephant questions. It depends. Huh. What animals are the elephant's biggest enemies or threats? And that comes from Jonathan. Where's Jonathan from? From Jonathan Butler. But there was a singer, Jonathan Butler, from Canada. Are you the South African Jonathan Butler? Jonathan, expat. Jonathan Butler wants to know what are elephants' biggest threats. Well, that's a no-brainer at this point in time, because human beings right now are probably the biggest threat to elephants. Human beings are killing elephants in Africa at the rate of probably around 300, no, not that many, 100 animals a day. 100 elephants every single day in Africa right now are being slaughtered for tusks because they're corrupt governments, and there's this demand by the Middle East, Far East, wherever it may be, Philippines, Indonesia, for ivory, for a whole host of different things, because humans have to place a value on something so precious. Knowing so little about them, and knowing that as a living creature they are far more precious and far more valuable to us than as a block of ivory on a carving table. Having said that, if we weren't here, the greatest threat to elephant would obviously be perhaps climate and drought. Elephants are very, very restricted in their diet in terms of the different types of things that they can eat. They're very water dependent, and drought certainly kills off a lot of them. The other thing that is now starting to become, in some places, it's not a threat to the population of elephants as a whole in Africa, but certainly is a threat to some elephants in some parts of Africa where lion have started hunting them. The threat to them in those particular places are lion, big prides of lion that have learned how to hunt elephant and are hunting elephant and have become quite successful about it. I know of a pride of lion in Tanzania. I know of a pride of lion or several prides up in Botswana, in Chobe, and of course there is supposedly a pride of lion up in the northern part of Kruger as well that has started taking down elephants. And generally speaking, that tends to only happen when elephant populations are very, very healthy, where elephant numbers are high, and so are the survival rate of calves is very, very high. And when elephant populations increase and they get to a particular point, it's like any animal on earth for that matter, that is a social animal that reaches an overpopulation status, that there are certain breakdowns in the population, within the species, that become their own worst enemy. And one of the things that we found looking at so many different social species throughout history is that when there is an overpopulation, one of the first things that does break down is maternal care and social cohesiveness within a group, which ordinarily would protect calves against things like lion, but in places where high populations are allowing these elephants to drop their guard to some extent, lion are actually getting in and they're killing even up to sub-adults and even young adults, which is remarkable, frightening. To think of a pride, I've never seen it. I've only seen lion eating a calf, a very, very young elephant calf. But it must be frightening to actually watch that kill, for me particularly, with my passion for elephants. I don't know how I would be able to handle that, to be able to watch a pride of lion bringing down an elephant, especially an elephant that I knew, because it would be like bringing down a friend of mine and there'd be nothing that I could do about it. So, quite harsh, quite severe. But up until now, at the moment, unless something has been done, and I know that President Obama of the States placed a lot of money in, pushing a lot of money into Africa for anti-poaching or for the control of poaching of things like elephant and in particular rhino. It was a very heavy gunshot. It was a very high caliber, 375, 450, but it was an empty shot, it didn't hit a target. Anyways, there's a lot of money going into anti-poaching, but it's got to go from the top down. It can't go from the bottom up. You can't keep plowing money into anti-poaching patrols and trying to deal with it on the ground, because when you take out 5 poachers, you're going to have 15 other guys coming in to poach where there were 5. Same scenario whether you're trying to take a jackal out of a hen house, or a jackal taking out a jackal that's raiding a hen house. You take out one dominant male and suddenly you're going to have 5 sub-adult males, because you've got a dominant male no longer guarding his territory. So that's the evils of that. You've got to go to the top. Where's the stuff going? Where's all the money coming from? Those people at the top of these syndicates, the people that are controlling the finances of this all, those are the people that have to be brought down. And unfortunately, because so much money is involved, it's our government, it's the governments of the countries where the ivory is going. These things could not happen without the consent or the bribery of government officials. So, government. And we are supposed to be the people that elect our government. Are we doing something wrong? If we're electing people that are so corrupt and so greedy and so money hungry that they'll allow their natural resources to be depleted and destroyed. So there's your answer. Human beings are killing elephants, lion, rhino, animals, wildlife, nature. Biggest threat to the planet. And this is what people don't realize. It's the planet. It's a living organism, the entire planet. The Gaia hypothesis. We're not just taking out big animals that are wonderful creatures to live with. Dolphins, whales. They're vital to the molesters and rape and violent offenders. That it's that very reason that when the rabies is not something you want spread. In fact, if I remember correctly, there was even an article when I was in the States and we were looking at when we were busy with the bat study. We were looking at going to Florida to look at the first known cases of fruit bats coming into the US from the Caribbean. Of course, I don't think fruit bats would carry rabies, but certainly the insectivorous bats, I think, they had discovered that even bats could carry rabies and transmit it through their saliva or something. So it's not a fun thing, and I remember there was even a program in the Sabi Sand when we used to be going live from Juma, when we used to broadcast from there. It was around about the time I think that I started, about 2009 or so, that they were actually darting all the predators in the Sabi Sand. They went through the program to try and control it because there were also outbreaks outside of the Kruger. And they wanted to make sure that they wouldn't lose any predators because predators are vital to the environment. But they started vaccinating the predators, and that was through a dart, darting them, and a dart that fell out once it injected its content. Yo! Yeah, boy. Yes. I'm sure that's not from Karen, but yes. Oh. Thanks, Karen. I did try and emphasize that point this morning. And I suppose I should never even mention it because I know how people talk and how it just spreads that it becomes uncontrollable. I know absolutely nothing about this three-legged leopard other than there's supposedly a leopard that, whether it's lost a leg or just a broken, I have absolutely no information. I can't even find out information. It's a myth or a legend or just, I don't know. All I can say is I really don't know. Sorry, I really don't know anything about this leopard, other than when we had a meeting with Juan from Royal Malawan, he mentioned something about it, and then we were with the leopard the other day, and some guy came over the radio and asked me if it's limping, if it was maybe that one. But I thought that the other leopard was supposed to be up there in the northeast, and this was the leopard that was down there in the southwest. So, unfortunately, folks, and Karen, drop the subject. We're not going to find out about it. We're not going to see it. It's a leopard that is it's a wonderful feat of nature surviving and against all odds, adaptability, about a leopard who had a broken leg or something like that and is managing to survive quite well. It's like the elephants that we've seen with broken trunks or part of their trunks missing. Obviously for a prey species it's not going to work very well because three-legged impala is not going to run as fast, so it's not going to last very long. But a three-legged leopard is still going to be able to stalk things, find a way to make a living. Handicapped animals, another subject at another time. But can we just drop the three-legged leopard thing, please? I don't know how to even find out about it. Next. Eggs. No. Ants. Oh! I'm just going to tap the ants out. Sorry, ants, you can find it later. Where should we put it? Here. In the sun. You can see this is a casing, this little, that's where a seed used to be. There's another place where a seed used to be, but all the fruit is eaten around where the seeds were. There aren't any seeds in here. All the seeds have been taken, picked out, probably by a baboon, picking them out with its fingers so that it can eat the seeds, eat the fruit rather. Oh, I can see a big baboon spider's burrow. But there, see, look at that. Very thick, woody shell to the monkey orange. Okay. I can't even break this. I managed to, that was probably because it was cracked already. I managed to get a small piece. But very, very woody, so you'll break a baseball. You try and hit that with a baseball bat, you'll break the baseball bat. I don't know, can you see where my foot is? No. I don't want to disturb it because it's sleeping for the winter anyway. There's a big burrow there that's about maybe 2 inches in diameter that has got a baboon spider in it, which is an African tarantula essentially. Okay, I think we're going to run out of fuel. That was from Hadley in Victoria. I think we're in trouble. I think I've run out of petrol and I'm gonna oh, that's the petrol issue. Damn, how are we gonna do this? Nico's not there. Aaron's car won't make it. I have to be there to bring my Land Rover here. Aish. Has he got his bucky there, right? Aaron. See, we've got to take this microphone away from here. just not working for me having a microphone right there where the petrol gauge is. I'm just going to take a quick shot as far as we can. I might just have to run home quickly and go and fetch my Land Rover. See if we can just get this engine going long enough to get me a little bit closer. Oh, that's embarrassing. I mean, I can go now quickly and leave you here, David. I'm going to have to. Sorry. Turn the volume down because I've got to strip this thing. Mostly down, and I don't have to walk so far before it gets dark. So with the car facing down, it'll be a better chance. Yeah, but it doesn't help. You can maybe come down to fetch me at the river. It'll take me 15 minutes while it's still light to walk down to the river. Come and fetch me at the bottom of the road that comes out of, when we drive out of camp, and then take me back to fetch my Land Rover with the petrol. Wish I could just get over that slope there. Just get down to that slope and get a little bit closer. Use the ignition to just drive the car a bit slower, a bit closer to that little slope. Use the gravity drive to try and get down. Okay, maybe if you can ask Mika to find Hendrik from River Lodge, maybe with Hendrik's Land Rover he can bring me a drum of petrol with that funnel. Yeah, please, if he can find Hendrik with that Land Rover from River Lodge, or I don't think Adam is there, but Hendrik should be around from River Lodge. Maybe he can use the River Lodge Land Rover, because he's not going to get here with his bucky. And I don't know if Mika knows where this is. Also, we're going to just have to cut stream. Sorry folks, we're going to say